4, 3,
Good.
2, 1, rolling. And Phantom Sound, stand by A, Scott's mic. Roll A, white cue.
And facing off
Stand
for the
by,
first time,
40
President
plasma
Obama
with.
and Governor Romney debate in
Dissolve, and
America's
ready,
great
C.
Danielle Nottingham is live
Roll
in Denver
C,
tonight
take,
and
stand by,
joins
net
us
4
for
with.
on this pivotal moment.
Dissolve, anime Q.
Danielle?
President
Nice.
Obama and Mitt Romney
Read.
sparred over taxes, the economy, and
Read, radio
Medicare
sound
in a
full.
fight to win over
Under.
undecided voters.
Roll A, sound tag. Read, thanks.
President Obama and Mitt Romney
Nicely
shook
done,
hands
everyone.
at the start of their first debate. The two nominees faced off at the
I
University
got
of
it here. Here
Denver
we
in
go.
a discussion focused on
Oh,
domestic issues, in
No keys
particular
here.
the economy.
Buck 32, University in New York.
Economic policies that help to get us into this mess, or do we embrace a new economic patriotism?
I know what it takes to get small business growing again, to hire people. Now I'm concerned that the path that we're on has just been unsuccessful.
The president and Romney also sounded off on taxes.
I will not, under any circumstances, raise taxes on middle-income families.
She's reading her
For 18
intro
months, he's
to the
been
other.
working on this tax plan, and now, 5 weeks before the election, he's saying that his big bold idea is never mind.
The
Oh,
TV audience for the debate is
They're on their
expected to be
package
more
right
than
now.
50 million. With the race so close,
the exact
both
same package,
candidates
isn't
are
it?
interested in reaching the relatively few voters who have not yet made up their minds.
we may be coming out the page
Each
3
argued his
next. No
plan for the
tag.
future of
All right, no
Medicare.
tag. No
What I
tag on.
support
No tag
is
on
no
2 here. We're
change
coming out the straight the 3 and effects
current
next.
Retirees and near retirees to Medicare, and the president supports taking $716
20
billion
seconds
from
out.
that program.
When you move to a voucher system, you are putting seniors at the mercy of those insurance companies, and over time, if traditional
All right, 10
Medicare
seconds.
has
Ready.
decayed
3 and effects
or
for
fallen
page
apart,
3. Page 3 is next.
they're
No
stuck.
tag.
The candidates will debate 2 more times. Next up is a town hall meeting at Hofstra University in New York.
Anyway, TQ.
Thanks for that, Danielle.
Ready, C?
Oklahomans gathered at debate watch parties tonight
We'll
across
see.
Green Country.
Take, number
Our
22
team
with.
coverage continues with Tess Monty. Tess?
Dissolve, anime Q.
Jennifer, voters
Read.
here at the Circle Cinema left tonight
Read.
saying that they're excited.
A under
that
next.
The debate only
Ready,
left them
A.
more excited and ready for November
Roll A.
and the election
Take.
in November.
Read.
Inside the
B
theater,
sound
everyone's
full.
eyes were
Under
glued
next.
to the big screen as the candidates worked to connect with voters over hot topics like the economy and health care.
All right, Read.
The watch party here was nonpartisan, but both the Republican and Democratic parties
Hold
held
on.
viewings of their own, and everyone seemed to take away a little something different from tonight's debate.
Roll B takes and
I
anime.
believe in our president, and I think he's hit the points
Read.
right now that makes
Oh.
it's important to a lot
What
of
is
us,
it?
is jobs
Read.
and education. And I believe
You
that's
got it?
what he's been doing it, and he's going to continue to do that. And
You got
as
Matt?
I say, moving forward, we need to continue with what
Ready, Key?
we can to help our president.
Campaigns
Can I
are
make-
about contrasts. There's very big contrasts between these
Read.
two
This
candidates
runs 40.
as far as what Mitt Romney wants to do and what Barack Obama wants to do
Out
for this country. Again, once
22 under.
Barack Obama, he had his shot. He didn't get it done.
10.
And when someone doesn't get
Debate
it, doesn't get
tonight's
it
the
done,
out.
it's time for him to go.
Ready, 22 under.
And I think it's Mitt Romney's chance to shine, and he's really shined in this debate tonight.
Take Read.
The
Q.
Circle Cinema will
A
be
under
holding
next.
similar watch parties
And
for
Jen's
the next
mic.
2 debates.
Ready, A
They
under
too
and Jen's
will be
mic.
free and open to the public. Tess Monty,
Roll A.
News on 6 tonight.
Take your Read.
Coming up at
All right,
10:14,
one
the
Zoom
new
next, Scott's
technology
mic.
opening up
Ready, one and
Oklahoma
Zoom.
voting booths to those who cannot
Start
see
with.
the ballot.
Take Q.
The widow of a man
C,
scalded
the
to
camera 11
death
with.
is on a mission to change the Veterans Affairs system in Oklahoma. Her husband died
Ready, C.
at the Claremore Veterans Center, and a follow-up inspection
We'll
revealed
see.
a number of violations.
Take, stand by 11
News
with.
on 6 reporter Lacey Lowry has the new details.
Dissolve, anime Q.
Lacey.
Scott, we first brought you the facts
Anyway, no.
behind Jay
A
Minter's
sound
death
full
last
clean.
night. Tonight,
Ready, A.
his widow shares what it was
Stand by
like
A.
to see the love of her life die at a VA
Roll
home.
A. Dissolve sound.
We got married in
9 for
1950.
Francis.
Frances Minter says she will always wear her wedding ring.
Ready, Key?
We would have been married 62
Can I have it?
years if he had lived until June the
And I have it up.
20th.
All right, next key's down to 146 for
She
James
vows to
Norris.
honor her husband's memory by fighting for change. Jay Minter was drafted into the Army at age 18. In 1945, he was sent to the Philippines and Japan, where he had to pick up dead bodies after World War II. 8 years ago, Jay went to live at the Claremore
I haven't done a
Veterans
CBS
Center,
Live hit in
and
2
on a daily
years.
visit to see
It's
him,
been a while.
Francis walked into a terrifying scene.
My husband had his legs up in the air and he was screaming, "They burned my legs, they burned my legs."
A nurse's aide had bathed Jay in a whirlpool tub for 15 minutes when his skin started tearing
Minute
and
55, a
sloughing
complete
off.
overhaul,
The
so
skin
yeah.
was just peeling off of it, just when you touch the skin, it would just slip right off of him.
Jay was placed on morphine for the pain as his condition worsened.
His last words to me was, they burn my legs, which haunt me the rest of my life, because he never talked to me after that.
10 hours after the burns, Jay's body gave up.
I reached over and put my hand on his chest, and that was the last breath.
An investigation revealed the thermometer was broken on the whirlpool and the water may have been as hot as 144 degrees.
Jeez.
Francis believes the VA system has been allowed to deteriorate and the veterans are the ones getting hurt as a result.
My attorney
20
said
left.
to me, he said, you
Here comes
can't
Norris
help
Key.
your husband, he's gone. But maybe you can help
Ready, Key.
other veterans, that this doesn't happen again.
Key,
It
animate.
wasn't war, but a whirlpool that took her husband's
Animate out.
life.
That's
The
your last
Oklahoma
key. 5
Department
away,
of
ready,
Veterans
11.
Affairs, which oversees the center, promises a complete overhaul.
Take you.
Francis filed a tort
C,
claim and the
Jen's
state
Mike to A
settled
West.
out of court for $175,000.
For page 6.
She is going to the state capitol on
Ready, C.
Tuesday to share her story with lawmakers since the VA issues are now under legislative review. Lacey
We'll
Lowry,
see.
News on 6 tonight.
Take you. Stand by with.
American Airlines
Roll
is
line.
dismissing criticisms
Key,
tonight
animate.
leveled by workers at Tulsa's maintenance base. A
Animate
union
out.
representative
These three
told News
next.
on 6 yesterday they felt blame for the seats that have been coming loose on American flights since
Stand by this
Friday.
three.
Tulsa workers insist the seats were installed by third-party maintenance crews in
Wipe,
North
animate.
Carolina.
Three
Tonight, an
effects
American
next.
spokesperson says, we believe a contributing factor is with the seat tracking
Ready,
and
green
locking
effects.
mechanism, not with where the work was performed. Adding the company has equal confidence in work done by third-party and American crews.
Take
All
A with
48
next,
American
page 7.
Boeing 757s have been inspected,
Ready,
and
A
repairs
with.
have been made to at least 6 jets on which the seat clamps were incorrectly installed.
Take. Animate.
The body found in Muskogee last week has
Animate
now been
out.
identified as
Wipe the C
46-year-old
to A
Robert
with Scott's
Sanders.
Mike,
He was
page
reported
8.
missing back on August 2nd. A dog found Sanders' hand and dropped it in front of these homes. Police
Look what I
canines
got.
tracked the rest of Sanders' body to the nearby woods.
Stand by
Police
C.
are still waiting on an official cause of death from
We'll see.
the medical examiner's
Wide.
office.
Q. Scott.
Fans in
Stand
the
by
hospital
with.
tonight after a
Roll
drive-by
light, wipe.
shooting here in the
And
city.
key,
It
animate.
happened on Kenosha near 46th North in
Animate out.
Peoria. Police say a
One
group of
effects
guys were
next.
playing basketball in the street. Officers say they yelled something at the driver of a passing car. About 20
Ready,
minutes
one
later,
in effects.
the driver came back, this time shooting a gun. One of the men playing ball was hit, but he is expected to be okay.
Animate. Take. Ready,
A
A clean.
22-year-old Muskogee man will never
Roll
get
A.
out of jail.
Take.
Today, a judge sentenced
Three effects
Andre
next.
Fowler for the deadly mall shooting back in 2010. Fowler won't be eligible for parole for 136 years. 17-year-old Gerard Reed was killed in that shooting. 5 others were injured at the mall there in Muskogee. Fowler says it was a fight
Ready, three in
between rival
effects.
gangs and he was only acting in self-defense. His lawyer says he'll appeal the sentence.
Animate. Take Q. Ready, A
Did
clean.
IMSA workers play a role
Roll
in
A.
a suspicious Oklahoma death? Police are now investigating
self-full
whether
with.
medics caused Jason Marshall's death. IMSA was called out to a downtown Oklahoma City bus station when Marshall appeared disoriented. Medics say Marshall became combative, kicking and scratching a fireman and biting an IMSA worker's thumb. When IMSA workers tried to
Ready,
restrain
B.
him, investigators say Marshall was struck several times in the face, put in a chokehold, and exposed to a chemical that apparently caused him to
Will
pass
be.
out.
Sound. Take. And animate. Strength 13. We'll
Although the
tag
medical
3.
examiner ruled this death
Animate
a
out.
natural death. Someone with the fire department thought otherwise.
Ready, 3.
Brought that to our attention, and so we're backtracking to determine what happened.
Take Q. C. The one
Police say
effects
if
next.
their investigation
Ready, C.
reveals foul play, the ME's
We'll
office
see.
may reopen that case.
Take. Stand by 1
Tuesday at
effects.
10 o'clock, thieves
Animate,
stripped the
dissolve.
copper out of an
Ready,
expensive air
with.
conditioner just days after it
Roll
was
A.
installed by
Take,
the Tulsa
animate.
church. Maintenance crews showed up this morning at First Baptist
Animate out. Be
Church's
self-full
clothing
with.
closet at 61st and Mingo. Not only was the copper missing, they noticed the
Ready, B.
shed had been broken into and some lawn equipment had also been taken. The minister says they still won't stop serving the community.
Will be. Sound. Take. Animate. Strength
We just
10.
made a
He'll
replacement
get a mic.
as
Animate out.
and repair so that we're better able to
Stand by
meet the
Scott's
community
mic.
needs. And yeah, this comes along and it's a setback, but we'll push forward on this.
Mike Q. Ready, 3 in the zone.
And so
Page
far,
12.
police don't have any leads in the
Switch
matter.
move. Take Q. Ready,
An
A clean.
Oklahoma man loses the only thing he had
Roll
left
A.
of his
Take-
mother. Thieves broke into
Be
Ian
self-full
O'Daniel's
with.
apartment. They took a TV, video
Ready,
games,
B.
and a golden urn that held his mother's ashes. He says the urn was worth $200, but obviously his mother's remains were
Will
priceless.
be. Sound. Take. Animate. Strength 6. You'll get a mic.
The love of my life.
Animate
the
out.
woman of my life.
Stand by, Mike.
I just would love to see those things back.
Mike Q, ready to the center board.
Daniels only moved into the apartment 3 weeks ago.
Take, ready, A with.
Big 12 refs call OSU to acknowledge a blown call that gave Texas the win
Relay.
over the Cowboys
Take,
Saturday.
Sources tell us the conference's head of officials called OSU
Enemy
head
up.
coach Mike Gundy.
Wiping C to
Gundy
the
was
Biss
told the
3.
game-changing call
Page
was a
14.
mistake. Sources say the official admitted Texas's running back fumbled before crossing the goal line in the final minute and admitted refs declared the play a touchdown too early without proper
Stand
review.
by C.
The Big 12 Conference will not confirm that
We'll
any
see.
apology, though, was made.
Wipe, stand by Biss 3.
Well, whether it happened or not, OSU fans are taking the apology as
Wipe,
cold
enemy.
comfort.
Jackie writes, they
Biss
were
2
robbed
next.
on that call and probably should have been awarded the win. I'm not going to cry over
Stand by
spilled milk.
Biss
It
2.
shouldn't have come down to a controversial call. We should have got the job done long before
Dissolve.
this.
Another viewer says
Stand by
the
Biss
call
3.
is made on the field, period. You win some, you lose some. That's how you build sportsmanship in young people.
Dissolve.
But Charles
Tagging
says
3 in
Texas would have
effects.
put it in the end zone the next play. OSU should be glad it was
Ready,
called
3
a
in effects.
touchdown because that gave them 29 seconds after the kickoff to score for the win.
Take 1 in
More than
effects
100
next.
of you are commenting on
Ready,
this
1
on
effects.
Facebook. You can also leave your thoughts inside this story at newson6.com.
Animate take
Two
Q, ready, A
Oklahoma lawmakers
clean.
want to end what they call
Relay.
welfare for
Take.
the wealthy. Last
Beat
year, a
cell
government
phone
report
with is
said that
next. It's frozen
more
off
than
the top, so we'll hold.
2,000 millionaires received unemployment benefits. Oklahoma Senator
Ready,
Tom
B.
Coburn and Congressman James Langford say that's not
Roll
right.
B, sound.
If
Take
you were getting
animate.
$1 million
Runs 10.
last year
Tagging
in
1.
income,
Animate
you're
out.
filing and getting
Ready, 1.
$8,000 in unemployment benefits this year. That's a lack of responsibility.
Take Q, 2 for the
The bill
T's.
passed
Ready,
the Senate
2.
unanimously, but it is stalled now in the House.
Turn take music, start full. Roll
Inspired
A.
by tragedy,
Key
a
dissolve.
composer writes a stirring symphony meant to honor
Roll B.
those lost
Key right.
in the Joplin tornado.
It's one of the
Semi-tire.
largest dust devils ever
Key
caught
right.
on camera.
Rain
Stand
chances
by B.
rise on the Osage Casino Skycam network. The Warren team tells us wind
Roll B.
temperatures will
Key right.
bottom out.
And
Stand by your
rewriting the
break.
rules in the NBA, how stiffer fines and penalties could impact the Thunder.
And fade this, roll your break. Very nice job, everyone. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll C. And fade up Kim, stand by 2 in the center board, name or names.
Oklahoma's
Roll A,
new
dissolve and
technology
animate.
will increase voter turnout.
The state's
Animate out,
testing
ready,
new
A, full
voting
whip.
machines for blind voters that read the
Take
ballot
animate.
to them and allow them to vote at the push of a button.
Animate
Voters
out,
can
B
scroll
sound
through the
full
options
whip.
with this wheel. Pressing the red button locks in the selections.
Ready,
Blind
B.
voters have always had to ask election workers or their family to fill out the ballots for
Roll
them.
B, sound take, animate.
That
Trends
person
9.
had to
Animate
fill
up.
out your ballot and
Stand by
do their
Scott's mic.
own. And that was just a lengthy process.
Mike Q. 3 in
So
the
now
zone
the
next.
audio-equipped voting machines will be
Ready,
available
3.
in every precinct statewide in time for November's
Start
general
your move.
election.
Take.
It's music
C
written
to A,
in
sound
memory
full
of the
clean.
160 people
Ready,
killed
C.
in last year's Joplin tornado.
Roll C.
Craig Day shares the
Take,
symphony
stand by
in
for
honor
sound.
of one of the area's darkest days. That's new tonight.
Roll A, wipe sound. Hubert Bird
The dedication of the piece is
at
to
25.
the victims, the survivors, and the heroes of the Joplin tornado that struck on May 22nd, 2011.
Composer Hubert Bird named his newest work "The Other Side of Storm." A Joplin native, the tornado struck
This was a
Bird
minute
to
3
the core.
standard.
It took 5 months to finish the piece.
Yes, I did have to stop several
Yeah, can't,
times.
I mean.
The emotion of the piece is very, very
Animate up.
heavy. If you listen to it carefully,
Connor
you
Callahan
see
at
what is
49.
being said.
The piece will be performed tomorrow night by a community orchestra of middle school, college, and professional
Ready, key.
musicians.
After that tragedy,
Key, animate.
to have such a beautiful piece of music come out of it
Animate.
really,
So
I
ask
believe,
key.
helps the
Got
spirit
15
of
out.
the community
Tag it
and
3.
just helps to lift them.
Bird hopes
10
The Other
seconds.
Side of the Storm illustrates how the American
Ready, 3.
spirit triumphs over tragedy. Craig Day, News on 6, tonight.
Take you. 1
Tomorrow's
effects and
performance
animate
is
box
free.
next.
Any donations
Ready, 1
collected will
effects,
go
ready,
to the
A.
Joplin High School
Roll A.
music program.
Animate, take
Well, drivers in
Q.
California
Ready,
pull
A.
over to watch
Full
one of the
whip.
largest dust devils ever captured on camera.
Take animate.
A huge column of dust spun up in a pasture
Animate
about
out.
an hour west
2
of
on
Los
a 3 down the
Angeles.
line
How close they
next.
got. Dust devils usually appear when it's warm and sunny, and while they look like
Go ahead and
tornadoes,
lose your
they
ticket
rarely
there, Dion.
ever
Stand by
are
2.
destructive.
And
But something to look
dissolve.
at there, huh?
It is. Kind of
Nice.
makes you think
Ready,
about
1.
those things.
Take 1.
But,
Ready,
a lot
2.
of dust devils this summer around Oklahoma just because of the fact of all the dry, hot.
Take 2.
But that's over with.
Ready, 1
Now
with.
we're going to talk cold and wet.
Take animate.
It's the opposite. Big
Stand
time
by 4.
changes. These changes are huge,
Dissolve.
so be ready. And we can't underestimate how big of a deal this is because you're
All
going to
right,
know
all him
the
from here.
difference
Get
about
2
this
on the
time
4.
tomorrow night. Right now, though, we're talking about high temperatures from earlier today in the upper 70s to low 80s. It was a gorgeous day across the area. Great day. today to go to the Tulsa State Fair. We were there at 5 and 6 o'clock. Tonight, you don't see anything going on across the area. By this time tomorrow night, we should have pretty good chance of some showers around. It doesn't look like much right now, but this is a pretty significant system. Those red areas, those are red flag fire alerts, basically, or fire warning. And just the danger of fire is still very prevalent up in this area. This
hey, John, if you want to, from page 26 to 27, use your wipe there if you don't want to use a...
If they needed some rain, they just planted some wheat, and they were hoping for some rain because it hasn't rained all summer, basically. But what we're watching overall is the weather pattern with all this cold air sliding southward. And this is some really, really cold air. This temperature is now, it's not like below zero or anything crazy like that, but we're talking about still 36 in Bismarck at this hour. And that cold air is surging down to Denver now, and that cold air is now almost, well, really it's in southern Nebraska, northwestern Kansas. Notice in advance of it, though, very mild. We kind of have a southwesterly breeze associated with the advancing of that front, and behind it, gusty north winds. As this cold front comes on down, everything tonight on the latest computer models still look like it's going to go, and it's going to stick around on Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, sun comes out, and we're going to need it by then, even though I've had enough sun for a while, but we're going to need it. That cold air then eventually moves off to the east, and will modify temperatures as we get on into Monday and Tuesday. Sunday we'll get some sun, so we'll be back up to a really warm 60
2
degrees.
minutes, please. 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's about as far as we're going to go. Airport tonight, you can see the breeze blowing, and from fine airport parking. We're talking about temperatures that are still gorgeous, 70 degrees, 53% humidity. Moisture's coming up a little bit. That could help us with some chances of rain or showers or thunder showers. Southeast wind at 8, pressure is steady. As we take a look at some of the temperatures across the area, notice how we're generally in the 60s, but the airport at Bartlesville down to 59. That's not because of cold fronts down here yet, and it's 56 in Fayetteville. It's just kind of the cooler, drier air with light winds, but those south winds where they are blowing, we're kind of maintaining. And we were not really going to drop much, but we will be in the upper 50s tonight, mid-50s in a few areas, and of course around Bartlesville maybe a little bit lower than mid-50s, down to 53 or 54. Tulsa should stay right around 60. Here comes the cold front, though. Not going to go the sharp dun, 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 but it is going to feel like it late in the day. We'll be around 80 mid-afternoon, then temperatures will fall off by about 5 or 6 o'clock, but the real cold air will arrive tomorrow.
One big minute left.
One. Going to the fair, you will have to be advised that if you're going to be there tomorrow night, you're going to have a change of wardrobe, basically. And this front, when it slides on through, has all that cold air associated with it. So by the time we get into the afternoon, notice how the 50s are up into portions of Nebraska, 60s, low 60s, Kansas City to Dodge City. And then that cold air sticks around, of course, on Friday. We have a chance of showers overnight, Thursday night into Friday. And then again, Friday night, football games, going to be cold. We'll have temperatures
30 big seconds left.
High at 57. It's just amazing. All right, so I'm kind of excited about these changes. I'm amazed. I guess you couldn't say. 60 in the morning, 76 at noon, and then about 80 around 1 to 2, and then temperatures by about 5 o'clock with the cold air starting to come in, starting to drop off the first real fall front. And it's a little early. The last time it was going to be this cold was in the middle of February.
Show me
51
please.
For a high, and that's if we're lucky. You can see at least some chances of rain, and we'll take the chances of rain because we still need a ton of
water. You're clear.
But it could be a little bit on the side where you need to bundle up, have an umbrella, and just kind of hang out there and enjoy it. We did mention at the fair tonight, our talking folks, and they don't shut down for cold weather or rain. They just shut down for high winds and lightning.
Well, 61 is not exactly rigid.
No, but it's going to be cool.
It'll be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a slap in the face again.
Yeah, brisk slap in the face.
Time to put the sandals away, too, I think.
Yeah.
And from turnovers in the weather to turnovers in sports.
There you go. I think the Sooners are trying to give Texas Tech a slap in the face or two. How about that?
Yeah,
turnover trouble tops the
advance it. And
for the
first
first 3 games, the Sooners have forced just 1 turnover. That's tied for last in the country with something called the Buffalo Bulls.
An
interception by Javon Harris against Florida A&M is
Bulls animate out. Be sound for
this season. The Sooners forced 27 a year ago, an average of more than 2
Stand by
games.
B.
Now, coaches will remind you turnovers aren't everything when it comes to playing good defense, but it is something the Sooners say they're working on.
We'll be wipe sound and animate. Just run 16 seconds. Animate out. We'll be wiping the C for page 27 and Charlie's mic. Stand by C.
Focus on forcing turnovers and really get our offense back out there on the field so they can score a touchdown.
We'll see. And white cube.
16 days
Stand by 3
Thunder plays a preseason game at the BOK Center here in Tulsa tonight. New rules are in place.
All right, A sound for width.
The NBA. The league says flopping is a physical act that is intended to cause refs to call a foul on another player. Penalties include fines and a possible suspension, and the Thunder players seem to like the rules.
A sounds like enemy.
A lot of guys won't sacrifice their body.
Animate
really
out.
get hit.
Another
See
key at
guys
20 for
who
James
be
Harden. This
flopping
one's
all the
27
time
seconds. We'll be
not
out to
even
3
getting
Charlie.
hit. And you got your guys who really taking hits who may have bruised ribs or cracked ribs or whatever, not here really
Ready,
taking
Key?
the punishment. And you got guys who's flopping. It's just bad for the game.
It was
Key,
bound to
animate.
happen at some point, and you know,
Animate
obviously
out.
the league
Ready,
got fed
3.
up with it, and they put it in. So, you know, I'm happy they did.
Take you.
Baseball's
Stand by for
regular
music, stand by
season
A.
comes to a wild finish. We'll talk
Music,
playoffs
roll A,
coming
key
up, and
dissolve.
Miguel Cabrera chasing history.
Stand by
The
break.
latest on the chase for the Triple Crown when we come back.
And fade this. Ready, break. Cool. All right. Be up to D and 4 effects. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll D. Fed up sound. Stand by 4 effects.
This is News on 6 Sports with Charlie.
Animate, dissolve, Q.
The Texas Rangers are headed
A
to the
with
playoffs,
next.
but not how they'd like.
Ready, A
the
with.
Rangers limped to the end of the regular season, losing 5 of their last 6 games, and lost the
Roll A.
division title
Take,
on the
animate.
final day. Oakland was 13 games back at the end
Animate
of
out.
June. But now,
Yeah, with its
in the
score,
driver's
it's
seat,
3.
Rangers had a 5-1 lead, but back come the A's. Coco Crisp doubles home 2 runs in
Coco
the bottom of the
Crisp.
4th. That tied the game at 5, and it got worse. Yoenis Cespedes, a routine pop fly here.
Well,
Josh
I don't
Hamilton.
have to say that. Ready, Key.
Maybe not so routine. He misplays it. 2 more runs scored to make it 7-5 Oakland, and then in the 8th, Derek Norris with the exclamation point, a home run to left. The A's score 11 straight
Can't animate.
runs,
Stand
and
by, biz
Oakland
3.
goes on to win the game and the division 12-5. The Rangers will
We'll
play in
advance
the
to
one-game
another
wild
full
card
screen.
round Friday against the Orioles. That's new this year
Stand
with a
by.
10-team playoff field. Both teams finished 93 and 69. The game will be in Arlington. First pitch Friday, 7:37. Meanwhile, the Cardinals will play in the National
with.
League wildcard game against the Braves in Atlanta.
Stand by with.
That game will start at 4:07. The winners of the wildcard games move on to the best of
Roll A.
5 division
White.
series.
And
Tigers third
Key,
baseman
animate.
Miguel Cabrera is the first Triple Crown
Animate
winner
up.
since Carl Yastrzemski did it in
Going to the break off of
1967.
this.
Cabrera played his final game of the
Stand
season
by
tonight
for
in
music,
Kansas
stand by
City,
your
going
break.
0 for 2 before leaving after the 5th inning. His .330 average, 44 home runs, and 139 runs batted in all lead the American League.
Music.
We'll be back after this.
And fade this. Roy break. Stand by in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and fade up Q. And can't
Are
animate.
you ready to get real
Stand by
cold?
30.
We have the weather
Dissolve.
for you. If you missed the forecast, we're
2
looking
on
at
a 4
tomorrow.
for the
Still
web
not
pros.
too bad, but don't let that deceive you.
20
Tomorrow,
show,
you get cold
stand by
front coming
2.
in, getting super cold with chances of showers tomorrow night,
15.
Friday, and Saturday.
Dissolve.
Grab some coats.
Looks
Music.
Yes,
Stand by A.
It's good to have you here.
Roll A.
Letterman
Dissolve. And image copyright. And run that back. Stand by your break. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Fade this. Ready break. Nice job, everyone.